Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Wednesday, the 3rd of May, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished today down 1% to 7,107 points, led lower by the banks, iron ore stocks and energy companies. Fears about global growth and problems in the US banking system have well and truly hit the local market. Among the large caps, the Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank, Westpac and ANZ all closed down between 1.5% and 2%. The oil companies Woodside, Santos and Ampol all fell along with the price of crude, while concerns about growth in China pushed Fortescue Metals more than 4% lower. In corporate news, residential property developer AV Jennings said challenging trading conditions resulted in the company suffering a 50% drop in third quarter sales. That wasn't as bad as some had expected, and its share price actually jumped more than 3% today. And Ramsay Health Care reported an 11% jump in revenue for the 9 months to the end of March. Investors weren't impressed. Its share price tumbled 5%. Story number 2, retail sales jumped more than expected in March, but overall turnover for the first quarter of 2023 will detract from economic growth. Retail spending was flat over the 3 months to March at best, which is well below last year and lower than the long-run average. The Australian Bureau of Statistics data shows that consumers are spending more on services and proportionately less on goods. That's exactly what the Reserve Bank Governor Phil Lowe said he was worried about on Tuesday. Eating out spending was strong in March, up 1.5% over the month, and food spending was also 1% higher. Now, part of that was higher food costs, inflation, but it was also due to the footy seasons starting again, or as the ABS put it, strong demand driven by the continued return of large-scale cultural and sporting events. Story number 3 is related to story number 2. MCOR boss Ron Bellier today said consumer spending is winding back, resulting in an earnings downgrade for the packaging giant and a 9.5% drop in the company's share price. The cumulative effect of price rises across the country is slowing down spending. Delia said people are trading down or looking for more value-oriented options, such as buying a case of soft drinks rather than a single bottle at a convenience store. MCOR operates 220 factories in 43 countries, making bottles, plastic pouches, wrappers and containers for food, beverages and healthcare products. It's the largest consumer packaging company in the world. Its main listing is on the New York Stock Exchange, though it does have a secondary listing on the ASX. Story number 4. Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe has given a speech warning that Australia needs to improve productivity to bring down inflation. Labour productivity, which is output produced per hour of work, is the same as it was 3 years ago. If it doesn't improve, Lowe says, it will be hard to get inflation back to the Reserve Bank's target of 2 to 3%. Inflation is currently running around 7%. If you can increase output with the same level of inputs, there's more to go around, and that takes the heat out of price rises. It's the best way to improve living standards. Lowe also said yesterday's decision to lift interest rates was finely balanced. In story number 5, the Northern Territory government will allow fracking in the Beetaloo Basin, paving the way for the development of a world-class gas resource. The Chief Minister of the NT, Natasha Files, released the final implementation report into the scientific inquiry into hydraulic fracturing, which took 5 years. It builds on a scientific inquiry held in 2018, which concluded that risks posed by the energy industry in the Beetaloo Basin could be managed if its 135 recommendations were implemented. Ms. File said the government would deliver tough and uncompromising new measures that will create a sustainable environment, and also commit $2 million a year for the government's Petroleum Operations Unit to ensure standards are met. That's it for the afternoon report for Wednesday, the 3rd of May, 2023. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with the Thursday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.